Hello, everybody. Welcome back to This Week in Housing. My name is Sarah Eggleston with John L. Scott, and I am here to deliver the latest news from this week in real estate for our area. So I'll go ahead and get my screen shared here. All right. So welcome back to This Week in Housing. Jump right into the news. So King County was approved for modified phase 1. We weren't quite at the numbers to get us to phase 2, but there is a little bit more leniency, and 34 out of Washington's 39 counties have been approved for some level of reopening. So it's nice that King County is showing enough progress that we get to join those numbers. So modified phase 1 doesn't affect real estate too much. It's mostly, so it allows outdoor restaurant seating at 50% capacity or indoor seating at 25% capacity, retail at 15% capacity, and personal services like salons and barbers at 25%, and personal services like accountants and insurance agents at 25% capacity, and all construction. So real estate offices aren't on the list. Those will reopen in phase 2. But it is really nice to see some progress and see that we are making our numbers, getting closer. So last week, I was really excited about this one. Mortgage rates hit another all-time low. This was published on May 28th. But if we fast forward to this week, the rates rose a little bit. So the economic collapse following the COVID-19 outbreak has corresponded with a decline in mortgage rates. But there are signs that the economy may have already bottomed, as the government data shows that applications for jobless aid, though still historically high, are steadily falling. So we're really seeing the economy come back. And when the stock market crashed, the U.S. bond market went up. Those kind of go together, and the mortgage rates follow the U.S. bond market. So because the stock market is doing better, mortgage rates may see a little bit of a rise. And there are a few different ways to interpret this data. CNBC said it's going to be ugly. Today is the first time since the COVID-19 market reaction settled down in March that interest rates truly have a reason to panic. Until further notice, this looks like takeoff. And I personally don't believe that it's of the gravity that Mr. Graham thinks it is. But we will see, as the market improves and our general economy improves overall, we will see mortgage rates rise, just because that's why they came down in the first place, is because our stock market was crashing. So this is good news for the economy, and perhaps bad news for interest rates, although I don't think it's going to be ugly, like Mr. Graham said. Oh, and it looks like I'm having a little bit of a missing documents here. One moment, pause my share. Stand by. Well, this picture is not gonna want to show up. So what I was going to talk about on this slide here was new listings for this past week. There was a slight decrease in new listings compared to the week before, which is a little surprising, but there's a lot going on in the world right now. So there could be a whole lot of reasons behind that. And the new pending sales, as I mentioned last week our new pending sales went above where they had been in 2019, which was very encouraging to see. It shows that buyer demand is very, very high right now, despite the lack of listings. And while we did see a slight decrease in pending sales on from last week, it's still ahead of where we were last year. So that is encouraging to see. And we did have some of the monthly recap data for May come out. For new listings, you can see from a month prior, it's up pretty significantly. And for pending sales, that skyrocketed from a month before. As I was talking about our weekly numbers, this is kind of what I talked about expecting to see once the monthly data came out. But this one overall, I think this is a pretty amazing chart. I use this chart a lot to explain the seasonality of real estate, how demand is higher in the spring and summer and supply is higher in the spring and summer, and that's when the majority of the activity happens. And then both supply and demand decrease in the fall through the winter, and kind of supply runs out through the end of the year. And then the beginning of the year, we see some houses come back on the market and we see that upward swing again. You can see that the red line on here is 2020. So this is a pretty visual graph as to what is different this year than last year. You can see 2 years ago, 2018, we were way up there compared to where we are right now. So the fact that this red line has taken an uptick in the past month is encouraging. It means that we are about to head back towards where that line normally would be. So if we break it out for King County for residential and condo, you can see that for both residential and condo, pending does exceed the new listings on the market. We've seen this pretty consistently over the past few weeks, months. So there's just a real lack of inventory on the market right now. Buyer demand is high, but they're all fighting over the same homes because there's just not very many homes on the market. Now, if we combine those two, you can see there is 871 new listings and 1,162 pendings. And of course, not all of those pendings will close. Some of them will fall through and come back on the market, and some of them won't make it to closing. But you can see this is increasing our shortage of supply pretty quickly. And this is just those weekly charts that I've been sharing on a graph. And you can see the most recent week, we have an uptick in all three categories: new listings, pending sales, and listings sold. So this is encouraging. And as far as showing time, this is viewings for North America. So this is, national, not, and includes Canada. So United States and Canada. But you can see that the showings for 2020 have now surpassed 2019. So it's not just in our area that we're seeing this. This is nationwide. And just a quick recap, this breaks it apart in, this is May recap, so recap of last month, and broken out into different price points. So you can see that below that, you know, anything below 750 is selling really fast. 75% between 500 and 750 went pending within the first 30 days it's listed. So this is kind of showing how quickly those homes are turning over from when they come on the market to when they go pending. And it's only up over $1 million that we're in a healthy market, which means there's, you know, 3 to 6 months of inventory supply. Whereas if you go down to 250 to 500, there's 0.3. So if no new homes came on, this theoretical number, but if no new homes came on the market within that price point, we'd run out of inventory in 0.3 months. That's not a lot of inventory. So there's buyers out there looking and not a lot to choose from. And just to wrap up our little market recap here, this is from J. Lennox Scott, the chairman and CEO of John L. Scott. And the market is hot, but it's a new kind of hot market. Excuse me. So the Southeast King County, this is kind of the same for both Southeast and Southwest King County markets, is hot, but it looks different than it traditionally does. Though the numbers of new resale listings and the remaining unsold listings have plummeted compared to last year, homes are going under contract at the beginning, or homes going under contract are beginning a road to recovery and only down 17%. This year, the local market is more intense for each new listing than it was in 2019. So really what is driving the market right now, other than the low interest rates, is the shortage of homes. There's a lot of buyers out there looking for homes and just not much to choose from. So it's a great time to be a seller. And if you're a buyer, don't worry. You just have to have a plan in place to make sure that you're doing your search effectively and increasing your chances of winning in a possible multiple offer situation. And just as a quick reminder, I do have a page on my website for homeowner help. It's a brochure about protecting your investment. So if you or somebody that you know is having trouble getting that mortgage payment in right now, just coronavirus has hit a lot of people in a really wide variety of ways. So if you're one of those people, or you know somebody who is struggling to make that payment, I really urge you to go look at this brochure or share this brochure around. And again, it's easily embedded on a web page, so easy to share. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I am always happy to chat real estate and answer any questions that you have. If there's any information that you would like to see on these weekly updates, just let me know and I would be happy to provide that information for you. So let me know what's important to you and I am happy to share the news. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. And don't forget, on my Facebook page, I have a contest going on. It is a crazy hair contest, quarantine crazy hair contest. So if you want to have a little fun, win a little money, gift certificate to Resonate Brewery and Pizzeria, one of my very favorites in the South Sound. Go ahead and head on over to my Facebook page and check out the contest. Take your silly pictures, get your friends to vote for you, and that $50 is yours if you get the most. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again next week for This Week in Housing. Have a great day.